Welcome into Black and Gold Insider. This is the show where we get to know the members of the Black and Gold a little bit better. I am Max Bretos, and this man needs no introduction. We'll get to know him a little better, but we know him very well. He is LAFC original. He is a former co-host of the weekly podcast that we do for LAFC. It is now Assistant General Manager Jordan Harvey joining us.
Max, thank you for having me. It is great to be back in this chair next to you. It's been too long. Things get busy and responsibilities get added up, and we'll talk about them. But it's always nice to be back here, sitting with you, having a nice chat about LAFC and everything going on inside this building.
Everyone is busy, but every time I'm at the Performance Center, it feels like you are one cut above of busyness. I see this image fly up the stairs, come across, and go, "Hey, Jordan, all right, I'll see you later." Man is on the move.
There's a lot going on, man. Since I retired, kind of made steps along the way. Thankfully, getting more responsibility with it feels like every month. A lot of trust, which I can appreciate. But now in the role I am now, assistant GM, it's been awesome. It's been awesome. A lot of what I do day to day is just roster building, working on contracts, recruitment, any sort of planning on the cap, and then the big focus on the player pathway, which I know we're going to dive into a little bit. So at the end of the day, I always like to be on the grass watching football, being a part of it, but I'm finding myself a lot of it behind the scenes, which is really rewarding, and seeing a lot of these young guys take their steps, whether it's from the academy into the professional ranks with LAFC2 or then into the first team, which is awesome to see, and then getting minutes and all those things. So it's an exciting journey for me post playing career, and it's really rewarding to see the guys take the next steps in their new journey as professionals.
And we'll get into that with Jordan about the next generation of players. And generally, when I go there, I will seek out Jordan and go, "Tell me a little bit about this guy. We've heard about it," and he'll give me a great scouting report. So it's a wonderful tool. But you kind of got into it, but give us an idea of your daily routine you're going through there. You got your check-ins. You got to do this. You're assistant general manager, but I don't think it does justice to what you're doing, what you have hands on. But just give us an idea of when you're there. What are the important things for you to do where you feel like you're serving the club the best?
Yeah, it's all over the map. To be completely honest, I kind of bridge the gap between first team and second team and academy. The majority of my responsibility is the second team, but then you just kind of get pulled and pushed in different directions, just given the day to day. We've brought on a new academy director, Tony Hernandez, who is absolutely crushing it, along with Jake DeClute. And so being a part of that in creating profiles and curriculum, and Tony is amazing. So just helping out with whatever I can do as far as my 2 cents in the roster and the landscape on the club level. And then with second team, it's about just seeing the talent that's coming through and trying to make sure that we retain that talent and they're a part of our pathway into LAFC2, which is, I think, a unique one that wasn't around when I was playing. It was college or a first team. And now you have this, you can bridge the gap with our second teams now, while also, and this is unique to LAFC and LAFC2, is providing a college education as part of that. So it's the best of both worlds for me. So being able to identify, along with all of our staff, the top players coming through, signing them to their first professional contracts, which 'tis the season right now where we're planning for next year and making those signings, which is really awesome to see the families come out, former coaches come out. We like to invite the coaches that they were at their former clubs and come out and take photos and kind of commemorate the moment. But I know we're talking about day to day, but these are the things that I love to do. And it's planning ahead. It's the draft that's coming up. It's taking up a lot of my time right now. The college side of things, working with the data analytics team on that stuff, scouring platforms, scouting, but planning for that. And then the first team planning. And it's amazing to kind of be in there with John. I think he's one of the best GMs in the league, if not the best, and just learning as I go. It's been an exciting journey, as I said in the beginning, and this day to day, again, it goes from academy, trying to trailblaze and trying to find opportunities that we can make it more efficient and just take it to the next level as far as our pathway into the academy. Second team, different opportunities that day to day, trying to find different stadiums now for that. And then, with the first team, it's about identifying the top players in our second team and creating space and opportunity for them to either move up to our first team or then our amazing network that is kind of just coming into fruition. And the opportunities are just now starting to where when you talk about Grasshopper, when you talk in Switzerland, you talk about Innsbruck in Austria. We just announced Jeju in Asia. So it's like these different opportunities. It's part of my job to now help create pathways for all of our players to either break into Europe, Asia, our first team. There's a plethora of chances now and opportunities for our guys to kind of pave the way.
So no 2 days are the same.
Not one. Yeah. No one day is the same. Listen, when you're a player, everything is mapped out for you. You have your schedule, where to be, when to be there. And that has been the biggest learning curve for me, just kind of setting my own systems and schedule in place so that I can stay to task with all the different directions that I'm going. So that's the most difficult part, but it's also amazing to be kind of tapped into every part of LAFC.
And that's appealing for these players. I would imagine just the resources that you can promise. Hey, maybe you can get to the first team. We have partnerships in Europe. We have partnerships in South America. We now have a partnership with the club in Asia where, and that's where I want to really start, where you're looking at these kids and what you can offer, or what you can say, this is what's possible if you come into LAFC. So let's give maybe an example. There's an exciting 16-year-old, 15-year-old kid who's looking for it. You've done the due diligence or scouting, and now you want to bring him in. And you mentioned John Thorrington and Tony Hernandez and the resources. So how do you guys pursue an example of a player you feel is of LAFC material, and how do you sell them on this being the right club for a talented up and coming player?
Yeah, we've preached this a lot, but it's also creating this a sense of belonging. We're a club that since I've been a part of it, since you've been a part of it, we want to be a part of the black and gold. It's just that feeling, stepping into the stadium, it's that jersey, the crest, this building, creating that, and then just providing the resources. So when we talk about these young players coming through, we have some exciting players like a Lisandro Torres, who's part of the under 16 Mexican national team, top player. We have the younger class. When I talk to Tony Hernandez, it lights up when we talk about our under 12s and under 13 players. It's exciting to him to see them come in at the beginning stages and have that much more of a runway to build on until they're a part of our 18s and then potentially our second team. You have a lot of talented players within our second team group that have gotten significant minutes now at a professional level. Our second team is one of the youngest in the league. And so we're going up against some older teams that have a different philosophy in their second teams. And it's challenging. It's hitting adversity. But our goal is to prepare them as quickly as possible to then make the jump elsewhere. But it's providing the opportunities, whether that be just the resources off the field, and then the pathways, the opportunities with different network clubs. And we're sending a couple of groups over to Grasshopper to have some training spells there, which will be exciting for them. And then it's ultimately up to them when they hit that adversity, to have the mentality, the character to push through. There's always going to be ups and downs. We've all hit them. And so it's important for them to push through any sort of adversity. We can't just put our arm around at all times. They're going to have to hit these ups and downs. So it's it's talking to them about what it is and being realistic and being honest. I remember sitting down with Cabral Carter, who was a part of our academy, went to Pitt, and he came back on an LAFC2 contract. And this is not going to be easy. This is a year for you that is going to be ups and downs, training with the first team, training with the second team, maybe getting games, maybe not, training maybe extended periods of time where then you're going in with the first team, coming back with the second team. It's tough mentally, physically. And so it's just preparing them for that. But we have some amazing players, amazing talent. And when you combine that with a club that we're trying to create a culture here of belonging and people all feeling a part of it, then you feel like you're all family, kind of, and rooting for one another. That, I think that's the most important thing, is that people want to be here. So when you're offering, whether it's a second team contract or a first team contract, everybody is already going, yeah, this is what I want to do. I've seen this with other players. And I see what we're working on here and trying to trailblaze in different ways, and everybody just wants to be a part of it. So that's what you need to create, as opposed to a sales pitch. That's not what you aren't trying to sell AFC. Everybody's here. They know what they have. They know what they're a part of. And it's when the day comes when they're ready to start their professional career, it's as simple as that. It's jumping into the next phase of their development.
And just to be clear to the audience, LAFC2, the way and correct me if I'm wrong, but LAFC approaches it almost as an extension of the academy, where the kids get a chance to play at a big time platform against guys that are 25, 26. And that's a unique circumstance, obviously, because, you talked about those lessons. They're going to learn some lessons because experience matters. But that's why they're getting put into the deep end of the pool.
Yeah, and we look at MLS Next Pro, and what is the priority there? And it's to get guys real minutes and to push them and work on their individual development, but also as a collective. And then when they are ready, moving them on, right? We aren't trying to keep the top talents when we feel like they're ready at the second team level. Winning MLS Next Pro would be awesome, and I think we will get there. But it's about pushing them to the next level. So if every game is easy and we're winning, that's not helping them. They need to hit this adversity.
It looks good.
It looks great on paper, and I could go to the owners and say, look, this is so successful, but at the end of the day, we need them to. The goal is to be in the first team, or to be a part of this professional pathway and moving on to the next stage where it's difficult for them and challenging. So that's what I look at every day, and we're analyzing mid-season, end of the year, and in where guys should be, and evaluating, looking at what they can do individually. We have a really great IDP set up here that Tony implemented with the academy. We've carried on into the second team. Danny Califf is the one who runs a lot of that. So it's about just trying to do everything we can to provide the resources and the training sessions individually, collectively, to get them to that next level.
Danny Califf, big time talent back in his day, just like you were, Jordan. And I love what you said when the players come in and they know what it's all about. They see the crest, they see the jersey, they see the stadium. They go, I want in, because that really should take decades to develop. It seems LAFC have gotten to a place much quicker where that has equity and clout. And Tony Hernandez, we've had on the show with Barcelona, that's the target, right? Where you have an academy like they have there, where Lamine Yamal and Pedri and Gavi are coming out there. And I'm not comparing the two, but it has so much equity that players want to go there. But we're seeing that in just since 2014, when they started the academy with LAFC. So that's very exciting. And we're seeing the development, because LAFC for so long the senior team was a tough team to crack. It was, big name players like Vela, Chiellini, Bale, and yourself that were experienced players. But this year we
Thank
saw.
you for putting me in that category,
Dude,
Max.
you
I
were a rock
appreciate
star,
that.
dude. But it was well, this year with Nathan Ordaz coming through, who was a legit academy success story. Guys like Adrian Wibowo, Kenny Nielsen, David Ochoa, who've come through LAFC too and seen some first team action. I mean, that's proven concept. So, I mean, when you look at that and you see the players developing, what's exciting? What are some of the players that you're seeing that you're going, okay, it's happening regularly? This is real. We are going to have these local kids or academy kids or LAFC2 players make that breakthrough. And eventually we see Jude Terry. I saw him at the under-17 World Cup scoring goals. Guys that are going to put their impression on this team in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. You mentioned Jude Terry just coming back from the under-17 national team. I wish he was still there.
Yeah,
he's back
should
training
be
now. Yeah, he should be. Marius Allanero, who was on Canada's squad, he came in the first game and scored a winning goal for them to start their tournament off well. Ethan Scally, who's the goalkeeper for Japan, he's having an amazing tournament right now, and Japan, for me, are one of the favorites. So yeah, some of that young talent coming through. When we have these international windows, it's amazing to see, honestly, the diversity of our academy players going out to El Salvador, Guatemala, Mexico, US, Indonesia, Japan, Canada. Like, it's wild to see all of our academy players and all of our young players going off to their different national teams. And there's so many different call-ups, and that is very exciting. And I named those three. There's so many guys. I mean, we have a right fullback, Josh Santiago from Southern California, Santa Ana, has been with our second team for a couple of years now, has had some injuries, but I'm like, if he could stay healthy, I see it. I see it happening at the next level. And it's for him, it's just about staying healthy. And we had Luca Bombino, who was a signing from our academy into the second team. Now he's gone on loan to San Diego. Obviously, that's successful. So for me, that's a success from our academy going on to San Diego. They just obviously announced signing him and picking up that option. So while it's ideal to do it at LAFC, we're just showing that there's different avenues in creating that professional environment. And Nathan Ordaz has been doing awesome. Wibowo has got some minutes, and now it's about trying to push them on and get more minutes and push into the first team even more so. So for me, it's a matter of time. What we're doing here in terms of our alignment from the first team all the way down to our under 12s and our playing style, our model, I think that is very important. And creating a curriculum where everything is aligned, having player profiles where everything is aligned, that just creates a more seamless and fluid pathway where when a guy gets to the next level, he knows exactly what is expected of him in his position at every moment, every facet of the game, and bringing in players that actually fit that mold as well. So there's a lot of exciting players coming through, a lot of guys who have already made that step. I think every year on average is probably 3 or 4 that go from second team contracts into first team contracts. So it's proven already in the short time that it's been around. And now going into 2026, it's about pushing those minutes within the first team and creating those opportunities and making sure that the opportunities are there. And that's where a lot of the planning comes in play with the roster and providing space for these young guys to get those opportunities.
That's a great point. I'm glad you mentioned Luca because it's not always so linear, but to allow him to get that opportunity and for him to grab it, I know everyone within LAFC is thrilled, even though he's wearing different colors, to see that passage. And Luca, by the way, absolutely elite person. So we only wish him good thing. Great family as well. Maybe we'll see him in the postseason. We'll get to that.
That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome because he's an everyday player. He's getting interest from European clubs as well, from what we understand. I got to ask a Sun Heung-min question because this is another layer from the perspective of the kids where they come to LAFC. They see the crest, they see the state, but they see Sunny training. What is what does that do? Then, and just from him to what other players have walked through those doors where you have this mystique about the team. But what have you seen from how the players have reacted to see a guy of that level wearing LAFC colors?
All the things you would expect, and you could ramble on, that like all the professionalism, the character, the humility, the personable guy who comes in and is saying hello to everyone. It's, we talked about Carlos when he first came into the club and being the best player at the club and setting the standard and having that character where you wouldn't know that he's a superstar. It's the same with Sonny. And I think when that is the top guy setting the standard, being respectful, professional, everybody wants to be like that. Everybody follows suit, and that is the standard and the expectation. And so it's important to make sure your DP signings are great on the field, but if they can be great off the field, that's what creates the culture that will last the test of time, right? That's what you want at LAFC when you talk about creating a sense of belonging, when you talk about a club that is, block to block, street to street, arm in arm, like all these things. It starts with the top, and you talk about Larry Freeman, John Thornton, you talk about our ownership, and then these guys who are leading the way all represent that, and then you bring in players that represent the same thing. It just creates a different level of belonging in a club that, for me, is so special.
It sure is. And I truly believe the way Son Heung-min and Thomas Muller at Vancouver, the way they've come and immersed in those clubs is a game changer for this league. That's the type of profile of the players that clubs are going to be looking for, that do it all, that are so accessible, because it's important. And just so happens, my final question here, Vancouver, your former stomping grounds. What's been going on, man? I hear 53,000 for this game on Saturday. And have you been in touch with some of your Vancouver peeps about this game? I mean, what's been going on? Because that's got to be a little different for you than it is for the regular LAFC person, because the history you have with that team.
Yeah, no, it's all. I love that they're having success. I love for the fans, the city. They deserve a successful team there, and they've been doing really well this season. They've been amazing, and in MLS you can do that. You can shift very quickly and have a core unit, bring in some key pieces like Mueller that really elevate it. 53,000. That's amazing. They never opened the upper deck when I was there. They dabbled with the thought if we made it to the final or different things like that within the playoffs, but they never did it. So I'm really excited to see it. I'm excited.
You're going to be up there?
Yes, I will be there. Absolutely. And it's going to be an amazing atmosphere. And I'm really happy for the city. But we just need to bring the win home to LA and move on to the next round. So I loved going there and playing initially back in 2018. And just every time I go back to that, I talk to my wife about it all the time. We had our firstborn there, all of the things. It's such a special city, let alone the club. And I'm really happy for them. But obviously you want their run to stop at this next game.
Boom! Full stop! Exclamation point from Jordan Harvey. People are excited here. People are excited there. This is a game that I think the neutrals are pumped. I can't wait to see it, but we're all going to be nervous. Remember, it's 90 minutes extra time and then penalties. Jordan Harvey, LAFC is assistant general manager, and so much more as he gives to this club. We're giving an insight of all the hard work he does, making this place a better place every week. Thanks again for joining us, Jordan.
Appreciate you, Max. Looking forward to next time.
All right, we'll be here again here on Black and Gold Insider. Until we meet again, this is Max Bretos saying, let's go Black and Gold.